Dear students, this is our 8th lecture on molecular rearrangement, and in today's lecture we will discuss about Lawson rearrangement. Lawson rearrangement is similar to the earlier rearrangements like Hofmann rearrangement, Curtius rearrangement or Schmid rearrangement. The only difference being the substrate which is used for these types of rearrangements, whereas the products formed in this rearrangements, they are also same as we have seen in case of Curtius or Schmid rearrangement or Hofmann rearrangement. Because the intermediate formed in all these rearrangements, they are same, that is isocyanates, they are formed as intermediates. Now in case of Lawson rearrangement, what we do is we are using hydrosamate esters which are converted ultimately either into carbamates or amines or disubstituted ureas, depending upon the type of reagent which is used for hydrolysis of the intermediate isocyanates which are formed. And this Lawson rearrangement, this can take place either under thermal conditions or this can be taking place in presence of the base as a medium for these reactions. These hydrosamate esters, they are formed from hydrosamic acid. We can have O acylation of the hydrosamic acid to give us hydrosamate esters, or O arylation may be used for synthesis of such type of esters, or they can be formed first through chlorination and then O sulfonation can also be used for synthesis of such type of esters. And these esters, when they are heated or they are treated with some base, they will lose this carboxylate anion, and these isocyanates, they will be formed. And as we have seen that these isocyanates on hydrolysis with water, they are converted into amines, and if they are treated with alcohols, then we will get carbamates as the products, whereas if these isocyanates, they are reacted with amines, then disubstituted ureas, they are formed. If you remember that all these products, they are formed in the other rearrangement reactions which we have discussed earlier, like Hofmann rearrangement or Curtius rearrangement or Schmid rearrangement. In all these rearrangements, the intermediates which are formed during the reaction, they are isocyanate, and further formation of products is same in all these rearrangement reactions like Hofmann, Curtius or Schmid rearrangement. So this is the fourth rearrangement where we will get these isocyanates as the intermediates. So in a way we can say that only difference between Hofmann, Curtius and Curtius, Schmid and Lawson rearrangement is that here the substrate which is used as a starting material is different, but the product formed in all these rearrangements, they are same. So in case of Lawson rearrangement, mechanism is that this proton is abstracted by the base, and this pair of electrons forms a carbon nitrogen double bond, and this oxygen will acquire the negative charge. And when this comes back to this position, then 1,2 alkyl shift will take place, alkyl or aryl depending upon the type of R group which is present, either alkyl group or aryl group. If it is alkyl group, then 1 to alkyl shift. If it is aryl group, then we will say it is 1 to phenyl shift or aryl shift will take place, and we will get from this rearrangement these types of intermediates which are alkyl or aryl isocyanates. And these isocyanates then can further react with hydroxide ions, because we are using hydroxide ions as a base in this reaction, and these types of hydrozamic acid will be formed, and this will undergo decarboxylation to give the final product, that is amines. So this is how these hydrozamic esters, they are converted into amines when they are hydrolyzed with water. But if we use alcohols instead of water, then we will get carbamates as the product instead of amines. Similarly, if we use here amines as the reagent for reaction with this isocyanate, then we will get disubstituted ureas as the product, but overall mechanism remains the same. Now some of the important reactions where the Lawson reaction takes place. So for example, in this N-mesylate hydrozamic ester, this is mesylate group, when this is reacted in presence of 2,6-ditertiary pyridine as a base in acetonitrile as solvent at 85 degrees centigrade, and then this benzyl alcohol is used for further reaction with the isocyanate. We know that in presence of the base, this N-mesitile hydrozamic ester will be first converted into the corresponding alkyl isocyanate, and this isocyanate then will further react with the benzyl alcohol, and we will get these types of carbamates as product, and this N-mesitile hydrozamic ester gives us these carbamates in 78% yield. And overall conversion of hydrozamic esters into carbamates on reaction with benzyl alcohol is an example of Lawson rearrangement. Then similarly, another important reaction, bis hydroxamate, where this is disodium base hydroxamate, this partially undergoes Lawson rearrangement in presence of benzene sulfonyl chloride and pyridine as a base, and the Lawson reaction in this substrate will lead to the formation of this type of uracil derivative, and this uracil derivative on heating in presence of a secondary amine will lead this diisocyanate as an intermediate, and these diisocyanates are 1,2-bis uridoethanes, these are known as. These give two types of products. Either they will react with two molecules of this secondary amine to give us these types of 1,2-bis uridoethanes as the product, or 1-carboxamide or 2-imidazolidones, they are formed as the product. Only thing is that reaction taking place is this secondary amine will add to this carbon as well as to this carbon, and we will get these types of open chain 1,2-bis uridoethanes as the product, and then these can cyclize with the elimination of one part of the molecule from here, and this one of the molecule of secondary amine will be removed, and cyclization will lead to the formation of these types of cyclic 1-carboxamido 2-imidazolidones as the product. Basically what happens is this lone pair of nitrogen will attack this carbon of the carbonyl, and H from here, and this part of the molecule from here. So one molecule of secondary amine will be eliminated for this cyclization to give us these types of imidazolidones as the product. So this is how these bis hydroxamates, they are converted into these types of products through Lawson rearrangement. Similarly, Lawson reaction of these types of peptide carboxylic acids, which gave us these types of peptide esters, and these peptide esters, when they are heated at 55 degrees centigrade under alkaline pH, that is of the order of 8.5, they give a mixture of isocyanates of this type. So basically Lawson rearrangement takes place at this part is removed, carboxylate, tertiary butyl carboxylate is removed, and this part will 1,2 alkyl shift to this nitrogen to form these isocyanates as intermediates, and these isocyanate, when they are reacted with 6 normal HCl, then aldehydes from this R, then ammonia and amino acids, they are formed as the product. So ammonia is formed from here, then aldehydes from here, and amino acids from this place. So this is how the O-pavylyl hydroxobic acid peptide esters, they are converted into aldehydes, ammonia and amino acid through Lawson's rearrangement. Then other examples are N-benzene sulfonyl oxysuccinamide, this one. This also undergoes Lawson reaction, and this will be removed from here with the formation of isocyanate first, and then that isocyanate will undergo addition of this amine to give us these types of uridopropioniamides as the product, and this heterocyclic compound will be converted into an open chain amides as the product through Lawson rearrangement. Then similarly, Lawson reaction of O-mesylate derivatives of these amide enzymes. So if we are having this amide enzyme mesylate is reacted with aqueous sodium hydroxide at room temperature for 2 hours, then we will get these types of diazo octane 2-one as the product, and the reaction is Lawson rearrangement. And one thing to inform, that if instead of mesylate we use oximes, then this product is not formed. So presence of this leaving group is must for Lawson reaction to take place, and these types of amide oxime mesylates, they can be converted into these types of urea derivatives, cyclic urea derivatives, which is 1,3-diisooctane 2-one as the product, and this product is formed in 95% yield. Then similarly, this is an example of chiral Lawson reaction or chiral Lawson rearrangement, which take place in case of anhydroxyimides. So these are anhydroxyimides. When these are reacted with diphenyl N diphenyl methane in presence of methanol as the solvent at minus 78 degree centigrade for 24 hours, then through Lawson rearrangement these are converted into carbamate esters of this type. The first isocyanate of this type will be formed with the elimination of this whole group as ester, and then that isocyanate will undergo ring opening to give us these types of carbamate esters on reaction with methanol as the which is used as solvent. So this will add to the isocyanate which is formed with the elimination of this group. And this enantioselectivity of this reaction is that enantiomeric excess is 33% for this reaction, and overall yield of the product formed is 82%. Then another important reaction which has been reported recently is the Lawson reaction of these types of phenylpyrimidine based hydrozoic esters. So this is phenylpyrimidine based, these are the hydrozymic ester part of the molecule. So Lawson rearrangement will take place only at this part of the molecule. So this will undergo Lawson rearrangement and isocyanates will be formed. So these isocyanates, they are formed, and we know that when isocyanates, they are hydrolyzed with water, then amines are formed as the product on hydrolysis of these isocyanates. So this is how these types of phenylpyrimidine hydrozymic esters, they are converted into phenylpyrimidine amines as the product. So these are the various references which have been used in preparing this lecture on Lawson rearrangement. Thank you very much.